Good afternoon and welcome to Woman Wednesdays. We are back again with Joan Brown. She joined us Monday and told us all about how she achieved her bachelor's degree. And we are going, if you hadn't seen that video yet, go back out on the website and it's posted out there or in the Facebook group. And you can always comment on the Facebook group if you have any questions for Joan. So good afternoon, Joan. How are you doing?
I'm good, Teresa. How about you?
All right, doing good today. So today, Joan has a different kind of endeavor she likes to do. She's retired now. And like I said on Monday, we've known each other for years from Toastmasters, but now she's got a little bit different hobby that she likes to share with her husband, and it is her quilting. So, Joan, how did you and Jim get into quilting, and what kind of things are you doing now?
I have been going to quilt shows since my son was born over 50 years ago. So I've been going a long time. When Jim and I were first together, we started going, and I've always had an interest in looking at quilts, stories about quilts. But I went to a meeting at Mid-Continent up at the Genealogy Center, and there was a lady there teaching about a quilt called Dear Jane. And this is a very unique quilt among quilters. Everyone knows what it is. It's 182 blocks. Everyone is different. And it's all these little tiny pieces put together. So I came home from that meeting and I said, Jim, I think we're going to make this Dear Jane quilt. Now, you're talking to people who have not quilted. We've looked at a lot of quilts. But I found not too many days ago a bag of fabric that my sister's daughter and I, many years ago, were cutting out quilt pieces and had sewn some together. So my interest in quilts, I must have had before I even knew it. Mm-hmm. But we did start on the Dear Jane. Jim has worked on it and he just about has it completed. We've learned that Jim is the quilter. My husband's an architect, so he is art-minded. Mm-hmm. When it comes to things, he designs a lot of his own quilts. He's been in some shows down in the Crossroads, and I'm more the make quilts for my grandchildren. That was the main reason I started to quilt. We have 5 grandchildren, and I wanted to make each one of them a quilt. We have 4 out of the 5 done. We're on our last one right now. And now I have 2 little great nieces who are going to, I'm sure, need quilts. So we have things to look forward to. But I'm more of a traditional quilter. And I like handwork. Jim is more of a designer and an art quilt person. But we decided, Jim and I were both raised to give back. That was always, if you have something, you need to give back. So we decided to do Quilts of Valor for servicemen. And we got involved with a group at I can't think what they're called, Veterans of Foreign Wars in Independence. And so we made one. Jim had made a couple by himself before, but then we got with these people and started making them. This is a program, they've given away hundreds of thousands of quilts to veterans. And they're made with red, white, and blue, any pattern you want. This past November, in 2020, we still have the quilt. Of course, everything is closed, so next year I guess we'll have 2 Quilts of Valor. But it's a very good organization, and they present a lot of quilts to a lot of military people, and we like that. Other than that, I just do my own thing. I like placemats, napkins, mug rugs, all the things that traditional quilters do. I'm not into the art field of quilting.
Mm-hmm. Well, she showed me this just before we got on the call today, but she has a table runner she quilted. Would you like to show us? Whoop. All righty, so Joan has shared with me before we got onto the video call today a little piece that she's quilted. It's a table runner. So Joan, go ahead and give us a show there and tell us all about your table runner.
Okay. This is a table runner, and the great thing about it is it's Christmas on one side, and you flip it over and it's Thanksgiving on the other side. So it's good for 2 seasons. It's called Quilt As You Go. It's a specific kind of quilting. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I'm doing with my quilting, or wanting to use more, is my embroidery. Not hand embroidery, but I have an embroidery machine now. So that's kind of exciting, and I've been taking some lessons in that. But as I said, my quilting will follow a more traditional path than Jim, but it's something that's just been great. We want to shop at the same places. We want to go see the same things. So it works really well for us.
So do you think you might get a travel trailer and quilt in the kids at night?
Jim and I have been to a lot of quilt shows, a lot. We have seen those people set up and take down. That is full-time, heavy work. So I doubt we'll be doing that.
Yeah.
I'm going to set up an art business and sell Jim's quilts. That's my ultimate goal.
And he's won awards. I've seen that on Facebook. He's gotten some awards or some things on his quilts.
Yes, he has. And he's had some nice awards and acknowledgments. So
well, that's good. So are you having difficulty getting supplies now with the stores being closed, or do you shop online, and what kind of supplies do you get for quilting?
You can shop online, but we have stores here that have limited hours. They're very good with their social distancing. And a quilt store is not normally day to day going to be packed with customers.
Oh, that's
it's kind of steady. This group, these 2 women come in, Jim and I go in. It's just not that kind of shopping. Now, if they had big sales and things, that may be different. Mm-hmm. So that they are open. There's one in Parkville and one here in Lee Summit, and they are both excellent quilt shops.
Well, that's good. So then you're not having a trouble with continuing with what you want to do. So
no,
that's always a good thing.
Yes.
Now, what kind of project are you working on right now?
I'm making a charity quilt at the present time, and I had wanted to try what they call a Bargello quilt. It's a set pattern for your blocks. It's a color scheme, and that's what I'm working on right now. I've also started doing the wool primitives. Mm-hmm. And I like that. And the one I just finished, I'm going to put, it's going to be made with a quilt added to it in parts of it. It'll just be the center of a small wall hanging, but a quilt will be around it. So that'll be kind of fun.
No, that'll be different. Now, you mentioned wool primitives. What's the difference with a wool primitive?
Wool primitives are made with wool felt. And I'm sure everyone has seen them. They usually use the fabric. They make big blanket stitches around the pieces, and usually the background is a dark color, a charcoal, a black, or a muted colors. They're not a real bright piece, but I enjoyed the 2 that I did, and now I'm going to make it into a quilt and see. But I'm sure I will pursue that a little bit too. Jim is a more focused artist than me. I like to try everything. Mm-hmm. So that's my quilt. My quilting is a joy because I do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. What keeps you busy and
yeah. Yes.
Okay. Well, if you want to have some questions for Joan about her quilting, or maybe some more ideas about how to get started, you can always post your questions in the Facebook group. And we'll make sure that Joan knows that you are asking questions. We'll get them information from her. And maybe we'll find some other topics later down the road and have Joan come back and talk to us again. So thank you for joining us, Joan, and
Thank you.
good rest of the week, and we'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.